Hey everybody, I'm hopping on today after being gone for a few days, and I have to tell you I missed you. I'm hopping on to talk about getting rid of the cycle of punishing people when we get our feelings hurt, being angry when we get our feelings hurt, and how unnecessary this actually is and how destructive it actually is. So I'm Helen Hillix. I'm an intuitive counselor and spiritual coach with 35 years of experience as a licensed therapist and intuitive counselor. And I'm here to offer you from my heart to yours all the wisdom and tools and all the experience that I have. So let's get started today talking about a story. And it's a made-up story, but it's a story that may have happened to you, and I know it's happened to many, many people, which is whether it's a man or the woman saying this. But let's pretend that it's a man saying to his girlfriend or his wife, "My God, your ass looks big in those pants." And this is like the stereotypic huge trigger, right? And the wife is going to say, "Oh my God, you're such an asshole," or whatever your response is. How could you say such a thing? You're so mean. And then you're off to the races. And she is angry and hurt and withdrawn and, wants him to make amends. And he's just saying, "Oh, but it was just the truth. Why shouldn't I just say the truth?" And there's not going to be any sex in their near future. And this is such a cycle, whether it's that exact example or whether it's something completely different of, you didn't do the dishes right, or, why do you have your hair that way, or I don't like the way you said that, or whatever. It could be a million different things. But the cycle is off to the races, and it just creates more separation, more withdrawal, and then whoever was the one to say a mean thing, or the other person, they're just going to do it more, because now they feel alone and rejected and separate and distant. So it's just going to happen more. So it's a no-win, always lose cycle. And we were all, let's face it, we were all raised in a culture that says that if you don't get punished for something, if you don't pay the consequences, if you don't get punished, you're never going to learn. We were all raised on shame and blame and guilt. And so we believe that unless we punish that person for doing whatever they did that was hurtful to us, unless we punish them, they're never going to change and they're just going to keep doing it. But of course, what has been our experience, guys? We do punish them. We do separate from them. We do show them that there are consequences to their behavior. And what happens? They keep doing it. And we keep punishing them, and they keep doing it, and we keep punishing them. What's that saying, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Well, here it is. We do the same thing over and over again. We expect a different result. We expect that people are going to learn, and they don't. We don't. When we get shamed and blamed, we don't learn either. When we get punished, we feel distant and separate, less than, and that just makes us continue that bad behavior. This can also happen between a parent and a child. A child comes home with a bad grade at school, or has been disruptive in class, or whatever it is, wants to drop out of school. And, we're going to show them, we're going to take them off of all of their electronics. We're going to, put them in their rooms. We're going to ground them from their friends. We're going to show them who's boss, and that this behavior has a consequence. They better learn that. And what happens? Usually, they just keep doing the same thing, and we keep doing the same thing, and they keep doing the same thing. What if we could stop that cycle, guys? There's a way. I'm not going to go into all the steps. I'm going to do a podcast on that at another time. But what if we could stop that? I'm going to just talk in a general way about what we can do. If we can stay out of reactivity, my husband says, "My ass looks big in these pants." If I can stay out of reactivity about that, I can just simply say to him, "I wonder why you're saying that, honey. This is not like you. You're not a mean person. I know you love me. I know you care about me. There's some reason, something that you're feeling that would make you say that." And he may indeed say, no, it's just because you do look fat in those pants, or your ass does look big in those pants, or whatever. Or it's because you blah, blah, blah. But that's never the answer. That's just the first clue, is that's never the answer, that I did it because you. So if you can stay focused and centered, even though your head may be bursting, you want to scream at him so bad, but if you can just stay centered and focused and not react, then you can get somewhere with them. Eventually, if you just keep saying, no, that's not it, honey, that's not it. I know there's some reason, some way you're feeling about yourself. And let's say in this example that eventually the guy says, you're right, I am feeling bad about myself because I've been watching porn. And the reason that I can't have an orgasm with you, or I can't keep an erection or whatever, is because I've been watching porn, and I know that's the reason, and I feel so bad about it. And again, if you can stay centered and not get reactive and take that personally, and then start ranting and raving at him about, you knew it, and he's such a, whatever, fill in the blank word. I could go into lots of cursing right now, but if you can stay centered and realize that this also is totally not about you, then you can support him and say, honey, pornography is not your fault. We were all raised in a culture that is so twisted about sexuality, and it's not your fault. Pornography is, I believe, the biggest internet business there is. It's so sad. And, the sad part about it, which I'll go into in another video, is that it acclimates us to fantasy, and it completely disables our ability to actually relate intimately. So you can have compassion for him and say, honey, it's not your fault, but it is our responsibility together as a couple to do something about it. It's your responsibility to get the help you need, the support you need to be able to stop it, because you can see how it's impacting our marriage or our connection. And this can turn into the most intimate talk the two of you have ever had. And isn't that a miracle that it could start out with your ass looks big in those pants, and it could end up being the most intimate talk that you've ever had. But I want you to know that it's really, truly a likely outcome if you can stay neutral and stay centered and just keep going toward what is really under the surface, what is under there, what is in your heart, because this is not you. And to keep saying that and remembering that this is not the person that you love speaking. This is some other aspect of them. And the same thing is true with your children. If your children are, as I was saying earlier, not making good grades or getting in trouble at school or whatever, you can set them down and say, I know something's going on with you, or you wouldn't be doing poorly in school because you're a smart kid and you usually try hard. So let's see if we can uncover what's wrong. When did this start? And what are you feeling? Are you upset about Dad and I, about how we're getting along, or whatever? Just explore things with them. And at the very least, this is going to teach them that when they see themselves behaving badly, or they see someone else behaving badly, that there's something going on under the surface that they need to take a look at. And what a blessing that would be if you train them to do this as a child. An amazing blessing. And if you can help them to get to what's underneath that's bothering them, that's making them distracted at school or angry at school, then you can get them the support that they need. It may just be talking to you. It may be going to a counselor, whatever. And the same thing for the guy with the pornography. He probably needs to talk to a counselor and maybe go to Sexaholics Anonymous or something. There is support for whatever ails us. There is support. And again, it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to do something about it. So just remember, guys, when somebody says something or does something mean to you, it does not inevitably mean you have to react and punish them for it. It's to teach them a lesson so they won't do it again, because it doesn't work. It does not work. But what does work is going toward them with an open heart and an open mind and figuring out why they said it or did it. that gives you the opportunity for real intimacy, more intimacy than you've ever had before. So try it. Clean up things at the end of this year and use this tool in the new year. You will be amazed at how it works and how it changes your relationships. And I'm here to support you too. And I'm Helen Hillix, intuitive counselor and spiritual coach. From my heart to yours, I love you. And I'm looking forward to all of the talks that we get to have in the new year. Love you all.